Right. Good morning, church. I hope you guys are all doing well and you're awake. If you're asleep, that's not my problem. Okay. I promise I'll try and make this interesting and enjoyable, and I won't take up too much of your time. I'm going to start off with a Bible verse, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. And if anyone's wondering, I'm reading from the New International Version. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." And now, this isn't just a motivational quote. It's a reality for anyone who places their trust in God. I'm not here to boast or say that I'm better than any of you. I might be stronger than some of you, but that's just steroids. I'm joking. But no, I'm just here today to share a message that I believe God would like to share with you guys. And if at least one of you can take something away from it, I'll be happy. So, you might be wondering, why 120? Why is that the title of the preach? Well, in the video we just watched there was 120 kilos on top of the bar. For context, that's about the weight of a motorcycle or a baby elephant at birth, or very, very specifically, a Samsung 26.7 cubic feet side-by-side smart refrigerator. Okay. So let's talk about lifting. Literal weights, the emotional and spiritual weights we all carry, and how God equips us to handle them. Together, we'll see that no weight is too heavy when God is our strength. When I first started lifting weights, I couldn't even bench the bar on its own. And the bar on its own is 20 kilos. So when I started, I was like my Aunt Belinda. Don't worry, she said I can mock her about that. It felt like a mountain on my chest, to be honest. Every attempt was shaky and uncertain. And often I thought about giving up. But I kept showing up day after day and rep after rep. After time, I saw progress, not overnight, but gradually. So I go back to the verse we started with, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Just as my physical strength grew through consistent effort, our spiritual strength grows when we continually rely on Christ. The Bible is clear that this takes time, though. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11 says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have trained by it." Those early gym sessions were painful, but they laid the foundation for greater strength. Jesus also teaches us about faithful stewardship. Luke chapter 16, verse 10 reminds us, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with very much." Spiritually, this means starting with the small things. Daily prayers, acts of kindness, simple obedience. That simple obedience could just be coming to church on a Sunday. It doesn't help saying, "I'm a Christian," and where are you on the Sunday? Where are you when you're doing your Bible study in the morning? These small steps prepare us for the bigger challenges God has planned. Let's be honest, nobody likes starting small. Whether it's lifting weights or growing in faith, the beginning often feels insignificant. But God uses these moments to prepare us. Consider King David. Before he faced Goliath, he was a shepherd, fighting off lions and bears. These smaller battles prepared him for the giant. Although, it doesn't make sense, because I think fighting a lion and a bear isn't a small thing in and of itself. So, what small steps can I take to grow spiritually? Maybe it's committing to a daily quiet time. I know that's how it started for me. Joining a prayer group, or stepping out in faith in a small way. Remember, every great feat starts with a single step. Or the way I learned in the gym, no weight is heavy, weights are weights. Make a start before you know it and you'll be the big guy. Challenges aren't meant to break us, they're designed to strengthen us. Except about a week after I benched that 120, I nearly tore my pec trying to bench 130. So don't bite off more than you can chew, because it can hurt you. There are days, though, that in the gym I wanted to quit. The weights felt too heavy, the progress too slow, and the pain too much. But quitting wouldn't have gotten me to 120. Each struggle taught me something: how to adjust my form, my pace, myself, and trust the process. Life works the same ways. We face challenges that seem impossible to overcome: financial stress, broken relationships, health issues. But God allows these challenges to not defeat us, but to grow us. James chapter 1, verse 2 to 4 tells us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Faith is like the gym. You don't go strong by sitting on the couch. You have to show up, put in the work, and occasionally deal with the person who won't stop flexing their spiritual muscles. But in all seriousness, yes, God is testing you. That does produce perseverance. It says so in the Bible. But don't take it out of context. Just because it says it in the Bible, if God tests you, it produces perseverance. It means you have to take part in that test. Sitting back and expecting the test just to produce perseverance won't do anything. You have to show up and put in the work. The Bible is full of stories of people who faced overwhelming challenges. Think of Joseph, sold into slavery by his brothers, or Moses, leading a stubborn people through the desert. Each trial refined their character and deepened their dependence on God. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 provides hope. "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This verse reminds us that our strength does not come from within, but from God. But some of us run away from our problems and still feel very weary. That's because you're supposed to run with God, not away from Him. Challenges are like weights. They are uncomfortable and sometimes painful. But they're necessary for growth. When we face them with faith, God uses them to shape us. As Paul writes in Romans chapter 5, verse 3 to 5, "Suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." What challenge are you facing today? Instead of running from it, ask God what He wants to teach you through it. Trust that He's using it to make you stronger, just as He used those failed lifts to prepare me for success. One of the first things that I learned in the gym was the importance of a good spotter. Without one, you risk injury or worse. The same is true in our faith journey. We are not designed to go alone. Having a good spotter in the gym is like having a good friend in life. They'll always catch you when you fall, or at least they should. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 to 10 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up." This is God's design for us, to be in community, supporting one another. Even Jesus valued community. He chose 12 disciples to walk with Him, teach with Him, and pray with Him. In His darkest hour, He asked Peter, James, and John to stay awake and pray with Him. Paul also emphasizes the importance of community in Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. "Carry each other's burdens, and this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." Think of community as the spiritual equivalent of a gym partner. They encourage you when you're tired, correct you when you're wrong, and celebrate your victories. So a practical example of that is coming to church on a Sunday, having fellowship at the end of the meeting when we have coffee, except you guys have to make your coffee yourselves now. Joining a life group. It might seem like a small, insignificant thing to do, but joining a life group can change your life. As I reflect on my own journey, I see how God used what seemed impossible to teach me about His power. I went from a tubby kid, trust me, you can ask my aunt and my gran, I was a fat baby when I was born, who couldn't even lift, to someone being able to bench 120. Not because of my strength, but because of God's grace. Romans chapter 8, verse 37 reminds us, "In all these things, we are more than the conquerors through Him who loved us." This isn't just about surviving life's challenges. It's about overcoming them with God's help. So my challenge for you is, what weight are you carrying? Bring it to God, trust Him to strengthen you, guide you, and provide the support you need. I think I went a little bit too quick with this preach, but you know what, it's okay. I want to end with this. I was praying in my quiet time the other day, and I ended up chatting to a few of my mates on a Discord group that I'm a part of. And we were discussing the fact that life's not fair. You know what? Life's not supposed to be fair. Because if life was fair, we would have died on the cross, not Christ. So I want you, when you take your weight that you're carrying, give it to Christ, because he carried the ultimate weight for you. Yes, you've messed up, you've made mistakes, but you've been forgiven. But it's up to you to use that forgiveness and make better of your life. So, in closing, I would like it if there's anybody here, the elders will be up front and things, or the deacons, or whatever you're carrying, come forward, be honest, lay it down at God's feet, ask God for the strength, because you can't carry it on your own. Believe me, I've tried. Uncle Talani's tried, Uncle Carl's tried, even Titus has tried. You can't do it on your own. You need community, you need friends, and you need family. And that's what the church is family.